What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Arena. Today is basically the Zohran show, so this is about to be awesome. Um, how are y'all feeling about it? How are y'all feeling about this week? Just like initial, like what were your first thoughts on Tuesday night at like 11 Eastern when polls were closed, Cuomo conceded, and we found out that Zohran was going to win?
Um, Dude, we were talking when that happened. I don't think anyone saw that coming. I said if Zoran were to win, he'd win by less than five. He's probably on pace to win by almost 10. So, I mean, fucking insane. Insane victory.
Damn, dude. I'm just excited. I was just excited. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I didn't think we were going to find out that night and just absolutely elated that the dude wasn't, I don't know if this is the right political terminology, but like swift voted? Or like with the attack ads and stuff like that. Um, I'm just so happy that people took a chance on a progressive candidate. And that I think is the biggest takeaway is that people will take chances on a progressive candidate who has common sense policies that help everyday people.
Dude, exactly. And I think as well as that, it just people are so sick of the status quo, man. They want something new and they're like, this is the guy to give it to us. Also, smart political ideas. Free buses and free what was it? Free buses and rent freezes, man. Who knew? Shit's popular, right?
I think my biggest takeaway that night was younger people are going to grab the Democratic Party by the and they are going to make it the party that they
Say
want.
the words, Noah. By the balls.
By the balls and make it the party that they want. And I think that that is a really good thing. Me and Oliver were talking about this. I don't think this is just because he is this progressive change candidate. I think this is also because of the way that he ran his campaign. He released ads in Hindi. He released ads in Spanish. I actually watched this video on YouTube like the night before the election. It was like Zoran's ads are going to change politics forever, and it had like behind the scenes clips of his Spanish ad where he literally spends this entire day filming this commercial and making sure that he gets like every single pronunciation right, making sure that he does everything the right way. His Hindi ad, one of them, not only was it extremely informative, he explained ranked choice voting, he did all of that, but there were like Bollywood clips in there. He was speaking Hindi the entire time. He had people in it, like replaying some lines and stuff. Like it was an insanely awesome ad. The editing and stuff was like very like late 2000s, early 2010s, like rough editing, bad transitions, but like very authentic ad. Like the people that will understand that language will understand that commercial because that is like it was a very Bollywood movie style commercial, and it's not just because of this one ad, like or two ads. It's like you make everybody feel included without coming out and explicitly saying we're going to make everybody feel included, this is a big tent, all of that. You show that in your actions and words rather than by just in your stump speech and like making it a talking point. And I think that's the biggest thing that Democrats need to learn. We do not need to come out and release a couple of ads or like add like 5 minutes in a stump speech about LGBTQ rights. We have shown time and time again that Democrats will always stand on business for those. You don't need to make that the core part of your stump speech where people can message that out and then use that to culture war it and then ignore all your economic policies, because that would have happened here too. But you focused on, like Oliver said, free buses, cheaper rent freezes, things that regular New Yorkers want. He went and hung out with the halal guys and talked to them about why halal has gotten so much more expensive in New York, and found out in this interview that he had in a halal cart that there are people that control the permits for it, just like the taxis. And he was able to go back and say, hey, when this was happening with the taxi drivers, we were having high suicide rates. I went and did this. He had tangible, like, legislative proof. He stood on business about what he's done, about what he's going to do, and without having to come out and say it, he was able to make sure that everybody felt included in his campaign.
Yeah, dude. Just purely, and he had some great ideas, and this is such a purely economic campaign. Just like all economics. How can I make New Yorkers' lives better? I mean, you can even see it with the that question. I was like, oh, first, mayor of New York, where's your first trip going to be? Everyone said Israel, and he was like, well, I'm going to focus on the people of New York and see how I can make their lives better every day, right? I mean, just so smart, so savvy the way he was talking about how he's going to be able to help New Yorkers and make their lives easier.
I really like the points you brought up there, Noah, because I didn't know about those ads, but it's getting the little things right and showing people, hey, I can get this right and I can respect you as a person and I see you.
Exactly.
I see you and I hear you as a people and I acknowledge like you're there and you're part of this community. And it is brilliant because you don't have to overtly, how do I say this? It doesn't become, I feel like it's a facade sometimes with Democrats.
Hmm.
Yes.
Like they just say it and then they just move on. And I feel like you've seen that in the shifts, right, with various demographics in the 2024 presidential election. It's just really nice to know that that shift right happened, but it's not a true shift.
No.
It's like a 2020 red mirage.
Exactly. It's 100% agree. I mean, people can tell, and going back to the authenticity, it's just, dude, people know when you're full of shit, and Zoran wasn't full of shit. I mean, I don't know where he stands. He could be not a real progressive or whatever, but listen, this is his true self, who he is, and again, that's why people resonate with Trump. That's why they resonate with Bernie. That's why they resonate with AOC. That this is who they are. This is what they're fighting for.
I just genuinely, I think this is one of the best campaigns that a Democrat has run in my lifetime, maybe.
So I would like. I think, dude, he ran a perfect campaign, but I think we're also failing to mention just Cuomo may have run the worst campaign of all time
Well, yes.
in New York. I like there is no ifs ands or buts about it. He's probably one of the worst candidates of all time too. People fucking hate the guy. I mean, sex pest, fucking former disgraced governor, didn't even run. He was like, listen, it sounded like he was the what you call it.
He was preordained.
Yeah, preordained,
Yep.
exactly. He's doing you a favor. He's doing you a favor for voting for him. He's like, hey, listen, I don't need to be here right now, but I'm here.
Dude, half of his ads, he was by far the biggest ad spender. Um,
26 million.
Yep, half of his ads were the city's so bad that I have to come back to fix it.
Yep.
That were half of his ads.
I mean, and one of the reasons the city's so bad is because of him. I mean,
Well,
killing all the
exactly.
old people, cut funding from the MTA, all this shit, right? I mean, you can point a finger, and a lot of it goes back to him. I think, dude, he's just corrupt as well. I mean, another point that I talked to Noah about this. One of the a lot of his billionaire donors, they didn't like him particularly. They didn't like him more than they like Zoran. They didn't even hate Zoran. They were like, listen, I know if I give Cuomo, this is one specific billionaire, if I give Cuomo if I give him $250,000, right? Well, he's gonna give me shit in the future, right? It was purely transactional, and that's how he is. He's a transactional candidate.
Just like Donald Trump.
Yep.
That's why half these people gave him the money that they did. I also think with Cuomo, relating this to establishment Democrats, it is so bad for them that they threw their weight behind this guy that everybody hated. Because now I think for people's eyes are opening as to the depths that the party is willing to go to not change the status quo, not ruffle any feathers, and I think people are fucking sick of it at this point. And I think every candidate that runs from here on out, even if they're not like the most progressive, they're going to try to make themselves as much of an anti-establishment candidate as they can.
And we've seen it too. I mean, we're seeing it all over the country right now. Beto gearing up for his third run for a major office in the state of Texas. He's fully aligning himself with Bernie Sanders at this point. I mean, dude, he just did a rally with them in what was it, Amarillo, Fort Worth, all these states, all these cities across the state. I mean, there was a tidal wave coming, and people are just done with the establishment. I think that's how Trump won last year. I think that's how he won in 2016. And we're going to see it later. We're going to talk about this more later. But do you have anything to add, Conrad?
I think this opens up the door to a lot of young, I don't even want to say progressives. I think we're going to see entirely new policies, platforms, ideas, and it's going to be fun.
Exactly. I
It is
think
going, we're going to have a battling of ideas, and it's let the cream rise and let the turd sink, dude.
Amen. Right.
exactly. I think, I haven't seen young people this excited for like a local election ever.
Dude, one of my friends texted me from DC, and I think he's getting more into politics. He's like, dude, I can't believe he won it. I was like, dude, I know it's probably probably the biggest win in leftist American history. I mean,
Yeah.
like genuinely.
I'm not gonna lie, man, and maybe we can cut this out. Uh, Bernie wins in 2016.
He
Oh,
100%.
easily.
So one of but we do not want to cut this out. One of
Yeah.
this is one of my favorite topics to talk about is Bernie Sanders as a certified Bernie Sanders dick rider. Um, Probably could have used a better term, but still.
You're good. Glazer.
Glazer, dick rider, same thing. But 2016, there's this book called Lucky How Joe Biden Barely Won the Presidential Election. If you haven't read it, phenomenal read. I may know what read it, I'm pretty sure. Conrad, if you want a really good book about the 2020 election from the Democratic side, Lucky. If you want a really good book from the Republican side, frankly, we did win this election. Both great books from both perspectives. But what they talk about is how in 2016, the only person who could have beaten Donald Trump. Well, no, hold on. The only person who could have beaten Hillary Clinton was Donald Trump. The only person who could have lost to Donald Trump was Hillary Clinton. Clinton would have beaten any of the other Republicans. Cruz, Rubio, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone could have beaten Trump if it wasn't Hillary. Biden, for example, I always love the Biden example. He would have mollywopped Trump. Like, I genuinely think almost 400 state electoral landslide. He wins Florida. He wins Ohio. He wins probably not Iowa. Iowa historically hates Joe Biden for some reason, but he does very well. Bernie does very well, I think too. I still think he wins in 2020. Bernie Sanders. I think Bernie had the momentum. I don't think we win a state like Georgia, but I do think we do better in Texas. I mean, Biden lost Texas by 5 points. I think we lose Texas probably by closer to two or maybe even 1 point if it's a Bernie Sanders. He mobilizes the Latinos more. I think that it's I think it's just a very interesting case study to see how a purely populist, purely anti-establishment candidate runs and how they win. Because I think right now in my head, out of major elections, they're 0 for 3, 3 for 3, right? Well, Trump was an anti-establishment in 2020, but I mean, okay, 3 for 4, but still.
Yeah. I think completely agree with you there. I think anti-establishment candidates have always, I think since 2016, I think the biggest lesson that Dems didn't learn in 16 was the fact that people wanted anti-establishment candidates. Now,
Okay,
in
I
now
I kind of
2018
I'm gonna
2018
disagree with you on
midterms,
that. I'm going to disagree
2018
with you on
midterms,
that.
they did try. A lot of
Not even
anti-establishment people.
that. I don't think anti-establishment's the word. In 2020, why Bernie doesn't win is because people wanted the strongest candidate.
Yeah.
And yes, people thought Biden was the strongest candidate. They were like, "Listen, we're scared. We don't want another 4 years of Trump. We need Joe Biden. We love Bernie. We love you on policy." Bernie won on every policy matter except winnability. People didn't think he could win.
Which is, you know what? I think that's fair. I was a Biden guy in 2020. But and that because he was the strongest candidate, I was like, this guy will absolutely beat the shit out of Donald Trump. Um, I think now more so than ever though they know what's about to happen. I think this is our Tea Party moment. We've been talking about this since the inception of this podcast, but I think it's finally coming to light because of this win and because of we were talking about this before recording because of how absolutely belt to ass Zoran Mamdani went on Andrew Cuomo. Because of that, they like it's not even a talking point anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
wonder how he's gonna do against Eric Adams.
Dude,
I think
Cuomo
he's
might
gonna.
run again apparently.
Really?
Cuomo might run third party.
Yeah, there's rumors.
Um,
He's
I
not
think
pulling out.
Cuomo and Adams are going to have very similar voter bases. People hate Curtis Sliwa. Curtis Sliwa is on the radio station that they're on like the Fox News version of the radio station in New York, which multiple people in my family listen to, unfortunately. Um, but you know, people don't like him. He's a character. He's a talking head. Um, he's not doing shit. Eric Adams, people don't like him, and people don't like Andrew Cuomo. People actually like Zohran Mamdani, and this is one thing that I wanted to talk about. I went and looked. The New York Times looked at 9 demographics. There was only two of them that Zoran didn't win.
Let me
Uh,
guess. Millionaires and
no,
people over 60.
no.
Wow.
Okay, so we didn't do age in this one. He
Oh,
won. He won renters 48-33, I believe, or 37. My handwriting's trash. Um, Asian voters 52-36. Hispanic voters 48-41.
wild.
White
Again, Hispanic people, fucking, it's economics. It's pure economics. And they
economics,
like
economic
leftist
policy.
economics.
White people 39-34. He won them. College educated people 45-28 in a city like New York. Insane. Middle class people 47 to
Absolutely insane.
37,
Yep.
and high income people in the city of New York 42-30 voted for Zoran
What
Mamdani.
what's their definition on high earning?
Um, we
Do they
can.
specify? Because
They did
the
not.
medium income in the city of New York City is $102,000. So, dude, on $102,000, you're paycheck to paycheck.
So
That's the thing. The middle class ones are on this election. I mean, no ifs ands or buts about it.
yeah, because they're the
But,
people that.
but you want to know something funny though as well. These are
Mhm.
more numbers. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, and I keep interrupting you and I'm
No,
keep
you're good.
yapping. But um, the absolute poorest people of New York voted for Andrew and voted for Cuomo. The absolute richest people of New York voted for Cuomo, and then everyone else just voted for Zoran. I mean, it's a very very interesting, very telling, uh, uh, I guess, graph.
Is it the tails of the distribution? Like, go after the meat and potatoes. Go after like one or two standard
What?
deviations.
Dude, hell, even go after the poor people. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that seems like the strategy. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, working class and poor.
So the two demographics that he didn't win, low income, like you said,
Yep,
he
poor.
lost that one, and he lost black voters 51-34.
Yep, and
So, and this is a question that I want to ask you guys because you guys are more progressive than I am.
wait, 51, 54.
51-34.
Okay, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Um, why do you think progressive candidates have struggled with the black voter base of the Democratic Party?
Conrad, you want to go first? I'm gonna yap for like 15 minutes.
I'll I actually don't have really great insight into this. Honestly, like I'll turn it over to you, Oliver, because I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
So I got my start in DC politics, born and raised in DC, and if you know anything about DC is historically Chocolate City, right? I started my time with my first campaign ever was with a local judge named Lori Parker for Ward 1. Wasn't very progressive, but still moderate candidate. She was a black woman. We lost that race, but something you learn is, you know, it's mostly names people recognize. People didn't recognize Lori Parker's name. Cut forward about 2 years later, I'm volunteering for Janice Lewis George for Ward 4. She was a true progressive, DSA approved. If you don't know DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, all this cool shit. She wins her race, but she wins her race in spite of the, I guess, historically black population of Ward 4. That's my ward. Ward 4 though is the most diverse district in Washington D.C. It goes by wards. We don't do counties because we're a city. Ward 4 has a shit ton of Hispanics. I think it's literally split 33, 33, 33. Black, Hispanic, white, right? Janice wins Hispanics. She wins white people. Gets blown out by black people because I think Brendan Todd is an institute of the city. They know who he is. A lot of it is name or ID. We're not reaching out to these people. The progressive people aren't doing a good enough job to talk to older black voters. And as well as that, I think they see it and they're like, listen, I've have a million candidates come up to me, say they're going to fix this. They don't do shit. They're jaded overall the process. They'll still go vote. They'll still vote for the Democrat, but they're not gonna go out of their way to vote for the more progressive one. They're like, listen, my life is good right now. I own a home. I may even own 2 homes in DC specifically. I'm collecting rent. Why would I do this? It's lack of voter education is one thing from progressives, and just I think people are jaded. I think
Yeah.
we need more authentic people. As well as that too, the progressive movement is extremely white. It is a very, 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 very white movement. If you guys remember the polling from a couple weeks ago, Zohran wasn't winning any minority group. He was only winning white people. That was the only reason he was still in this race is because of white people. Bernie Sanders, he got a lot of shit because he only won white people. Well, no, he won Latinos too. But Joe Biden was only still in the 2020 primary because of black voters. It's
Because of your favorite politician.
Jim Clyburn. It's a very, very interesting subject that I would love to see a more educated, progressive, like scholar or something go into. But as an organizer, I genuinely think I don't know. I don't know how we win more older black voters. I don't know how. I think because reaching out to them, they're not going to believe us. They're like, hey, you're here for now, then you're going to leave later.
I think. Oh, do you want to go ahead?
No, I was no. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So what I was going to say is I think with some of the aspects that he's already run on, such as what he did with the taxi drivers, some of the other things he's done as an assemblyman, I think in these next few months leading up to November, I'm really excited to see how he reaches out to that community because,
There's a blueprint.
there's a blueprint. And I think that while he still may not be the most successful, I think what we've seen from him as a candidate, he sure is going to fucking try. To do outreach to that group because he has tried to do outreach to every single group. I think maybe they were trying to get the other minorities in the last few weeks before the primary to build that coalition to win. And now he can, for the general, focus on other groups of people as well. But also, I don't know how the New York Times classified high income people, but still, it's 40 to 30 for however they classified it. That's a big gap.
I would be curious to see that.
And I'm sure that most of these billionaires, most of the people that went on CNBC and cried the next day, beautiful. Love to see it. But I think it still shows that like even high income people are like, yeah, most of them. I'd say that most rich people in this country are still like, I should pay my taxes. I think it's a select few that are just that bad and that brazen about it. I think most people pay their taxes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We're gonna have different opinions on that.
That's fine. That's completely fine. I just think that the brazen tax fraud that happens from like the top 0.1% in this country is not indicative of most rich people.
Well, and tax avoidance. What's the 2 words? Tax avoidance and tax. I don't want to say fraud. Fraud. There's 2 things. Like tax avoidance, completely cool. You want to lower your taxable income. All right, like do it legally, do it the right way, like do all your write-offs and stuff like that. But like it's absurd right now. It's absolutely absurd. I mean, and you can see what's happening. They're going after the IRS. The IRS doesn't give a shit about people like you, like me, who take the standard deduction. We don't donate enough to we can't take advantage of any of those exotic deductions. Like, what are we going to do? We're going to take the standard deduction and then move on. Like, it's a waste of time for the IRS to audit us. I think the people that
Well, actually,
really
one of,
really struggle with taxes, I want to say, are the middle class fancy.
yep, that's who's gonna. It's gonna always be the poor and the middle class. And funny enough, the working IRS keeps getting cut year after year under Republicans, right? And well, where are we going to get the most money from? Rich people, the rich tax frauds, right? if you keep funding the IRS, you keep having them go after these more expensive, rich tax frauds, you're going to get more money back. But they can't do that. They don't have enough funding. So they go after the people like you, me, and everyone else, the lower class people, because it's cheaper cases to go after. I guess more in quantity over qualities. Right now, they're metaphor. Metaphor, I guess. But I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I do want to go one more time, just one more thing on black voters on this election. I agree with Noah. I would love to see how they go after this. I would love to see what their strategy is in the Bronx. I want to keep an eye on that. I want to see how things shake out in this election, because I'm going to be honest, I would not be completely shocked to see Eric Adams win the Bronx in November. I think people will see a D next to a name, but then they'll also see Eric Adams and be like, hey, I know who Eric Adams is.
Yep.
And then they're going to vote for him. I don't know. It's political education is a big thing that we need to, as organizers, as anyone in general, we need to start doing more.
But I think, I think if there's anybody capable of doing it in the microcosm that is New York, it is Zohran right now. I think he has the platform to do it. And the one last thing that I want to talk about like his campaign specifically, is I think his willingness and also success on every single platform imaginable. Whether it's the Throwing Fits podcast, which I did not know existed, okay? I saw it as an Instagram account. I did not know it existed. Subway Takes, Diet Parado, which is like this Indian content creator thing, which I, once again, did not know about beforehand. He was willing to go on every single thing, and I think he's going to continue to do that, and now he has an entire summer to basically just do that.
Yeah.
And the last thing that he did, which I think was underrated, and when I saw it, I was like, okay. At that point, I did not think that he was actually going to win. He was out there on the street every single time the Knicks won a playoff game, talking to people.
It's just little shit like that, man. Like, he understands. I mean, he gets the community, and he knows this is such a huge deal for the city. He's like, Cuomo would never do that. Never in a million years would Cuomo do that.
No establishment dem is doing that, bro.
I would love to. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Just like one more final point on this for myself is I think you're right. I think he is the right person to turn out these folks. I think that he has a whole summer just to get out and fucking ignore Eric Adams' campaign, get people out to vote. If Cuomo were to run again, I think he just says, fuck you, I beat you once, we don't want another sex fest. He's in a situation where he doesn't even need to mention them by name.
Yeah.
You don't want a fucking Eric Cantor situation here.
Exactly.
I wonder how you do get engage with the black voter though, as a progressive candidate. I feel like even like think about Erie. Like we're all familiar with Erie. So segregated, dude.
Oh yeah, well, second most segregated city in America.
Like it's just nuts. Like we don't interact with anybody at all. I was thinking about that at work, dude. Like I don't know if you want to cut this or what, but bro, I just go up and try and say hi to people because everybody's head down. They don't acknowledge anybody else. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Like we need to start acknowledging like everybody's humanity. Like I don't know what it is. Headphones in, eyes down. We're not acknowledging anybody. I don't and I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to go in to the Lower East Side and be like, I understand what's going on here. I think like maybe the first step is like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Can I listen?
I think too, dude, and we're organizers, right? And we're political organizers. But I think something that we could do with political organizing, something different, is just a very community-based organizing thing. I would love to see an organization like, and there's not many organizations that can do that, but like maybe a DSA, maybe something like that, but where you have someone in the community who's trusted, who's known, who just stays in the community year round. You live here, you see the impacts. We can't leave. That's the thing. I think year-round organizing would be a very, very good solution to this. Keep people informed. Oh, and I know this is a big thing with the Hispanic communities. A lot of these people, they'll get their news off WhatsApp. They'll get their news off Facebook. Just shit like that. just talking to people. It's a community. I mean, obviously, not everyone lives in the suburbs where they don't know who the fuck their neighbor is, but in places like this in East Erie, they know their neighbors. They know who lives down the block. All this shit, and I guess we need someone inside of that situation. Because no, you might want to cut this, but I mean, even for us during the campaign, we had someone. We had someone for the black community who we knew was a very good surrogate, not surrogate, but like a very good campaign asset for us, and he caused us a lot of trouble. But my God, he was very good. People loved him in the community. They trusted him, and even though he wasn't the nicest to us, we still desperately needed him, and he did a phenomenal job. He knows the community better than we do, and we need someone like that who will know their community better than a bunch of organizers who are from out of town coming in just to get someone elected.
And that's the
Exactly.
thing is I think because of the historic violence on the
Yep,
black community, like you need to be invited in.
Mm-hmm.
exactly,
You
One
need
hundred
to
exactly.
percent.
be like you cannot insert yourself and be like, "Hey, I'm another white dude who's coming in here and telling you what's good for you."
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there's an inherent whatever, but there's an inherent distrust and well-deserved distrust.
Mm-hmm. So I got two things to say real quick. One, the jaded aspect is 100% true. Actually, I was on the Lower East Side in Erie a month and a half ago for the mayor's election, and we were talking to someone, and he literally goes, "When I was your age, I used to do the same thing, but I voted time and time again, and nothing's changed, and now I'm just jaded. I'm not going to go out and vote today." I was like, you know what? I can't even argue that. Like there's nothing in me that is able to argue that right now. Which maybe you figure that part out of how to argue that, but like at the same time, like someone that's like 60, 70, they haven't really seen change. They've just seen things get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Especially in
Um,
a city like Erie.
exactly. Um, the other thing, and once again, like this is a bit at this point, but I think this is where policy comes into play with the headphones down or headphones in, looking down at your phone, walking around, not talking to people, not interacting. That's where policy comes into play, and that's where I think policy has allowed this country in particular, where everyone's isolated for the majority of their day. They are in their cars, they're in their cubicle at work. Then even if they are hanging out with some people after work, it's the same like 2 3 people every night. If you're married or dating someone, it's your girlfriend, your parents if you live with them, but you're not really seeing other people. Um, and I think you can go
I know where
days.
you're going with this.
You
I
know where
know
I'm
where you're
going.
going with this.
You can
Okay.
go days and days and days and not you really interact with new people. And I think if you look at why this is problem is not as bad in places like Europe and places like India, um, a lot of the shit that they have to do every day involves talking to people outside. They go to like the same market every single day. It's not this like chain store. And even if this is this chain store, it is much nicer and like you're not getting like your bread from there or your meat from there. You're gonna go get that at, like a local farmer's market. When we were in Frankfurt last year, there was this
Evil
like
city.
wine. Exactly. No,
Evil city. Evil
no,
city. Thank you. You
beautiful
agreed
city.
with me. You heard me,
No,
right?
shut up.
You
Shut up.
heard
I
it.
did,
Evil
I
city.
I did
did.
not hear it. Anyways, we're in this
Small
like market
white
area.
conservatives.
Shut up. We're in this market area, and this like wine bar run by two moms like opened up like weekdays from like 5 to 6 every night, and they charge like €2 for a cup of wine, and you're just sitting there and talking to people. Um, so I think there's stuff like that, and also Oliver called this. I think this is why public transport is more important than ever before, and something like free buses is very good. Now, this is not really a problem in New York City. Most people are not driving because it is actually hell on earth to drive anywhere around that city. Anywhere within like a 30-mile buffer of New York City, do not drive. The last two drives, I've driven to my aunt and uncle's house in Queens, New York, which is 30 miles away. It has taken 2.5 hours.
Beautiful.
No.
Maybe
It,
just another lane. Just another lane.
shut up. No. Build more trains. But I think stuff like that. And one thing that I would like to shout out, which is actually very cool, Costco building apartments on top of their warehouses.
They do that shit in Houston. My local Costco does that.
It's the most beautiful thing of all time.
There's an
Dude,
LA
we
Fitness.
we need mixed commercial residential
Yes,
spaces.
dude.
Yes.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm ready. Daria put up an Instagram post of like what you want to see in your community. I'm like, yo, ease the code enforcement, and like we
Dude,
need mixed
you know
commercial
who's doing that?
residential.
You know
Who?
who's doing Texas. The government is just they just lifted all that shit. The city of Austin's about to build this fucking massive complex with apartments, local businesses inside. They're like taking
Mm-hmm.
over some local park and they're just gonna build this huge fucking apartment complex like that. Dude,
So
even right now where I am, my apartment has we have a little cafe under. We have a spa. We have another shit. It's just the quality of life with shit like that makes
yeah.
it so much better.
So right now in like near my house, not my train station, but the one over, they are building a massive apartment building, literally right where like where the huge ass parking lot used to be for the train station. They're taking that down and they're building an apartment building, and there's going to be a smaller parking lot. Um,
Good.
a lot of the offices that people go to are right there, so you can
Just
live in that building.
eliminating mandatory parking. That's another
Exactly.
thing the Texas
You
government
can
is doing.
literally live across the street from where you work. There's a train station right there that you can go into the city, go to Princeton, go wherever the hell you want to go to the airport. The only thing you got to figure out is like enough like amenities like grocery stores,
Yeah.
food, doctors. But that part's the easy part because there's land still, even in a place like New Jersey. And I live in probably one of the most congested counties in New Jersey. Even here, we still have the space to do things. Um,
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I would just like to say one more thing. Like as I'm starting to get more into politics and thinking about running and like what kind of policies and stuff, where I live, it is a tiny ass town. But in like the last decade, there used to be this like Ace Hardware, this tiny ass fucking ghetto ass Ace Hardware, right? It was legitimately we never went there. No one went there. There was this massive parking lot. They took that and they made that's where the Whole Foods complex is.
Really?
Yes, there's a greenway right behind it. There are at least 5 different apartment buildings have been built in this town, and we have a train station that can take you anywhere in the world.
Uh, it's wild, man. In Houston, I love this example. Conrad, the way you were just describing it. If you guys ever to come, I'm gonna take you to the Heights, Houston Heights. It's very cool because Houston doesn't have zoning. That's why we were such a very interesting city. The only thing is we have the parking mandates. It's basically we can never have a train system here. We're just too sprawled out. But you go to the Heights, you'll walk around. There's just residential housing, and then right next door there's a bar in a house. Right? There's a convenience store in a house. There's a CVS right next to there's a CVS next to a house. It's really cool. Just little local tiny businesses, walking distance in a grid, right next to each other. Just like these little bars in this little neighborhood. It's so nice to see. Bike paths. One of the things I noticed that I fucking love, when you're going over an intersection, the cars have to go up over a speed bump. That's where the people walk. That's a pedestrian crosswalk. And Houston is a joke for our public transportation. You know, we're the worst. But guess what? We're getting better. I mean, Sylvester Turner, God rest his soul, fucking literally improved the bus line so much. He literally hired an outside firm, said, fix this shit. And guess what? We have the largest bus line in the state of Texas, and we're only expanding Metro bus access.
And look at what the most popular policy for Zohran: free busing.
Yep. Yep.
Dude, I will say this. It like abundance 100% slobs on the knob of Texas with the codes
Yep.
and getting rid of them. And like we need to have an honest discussion as left-leaning people, Democrats, like code and code enforcement has been weaponized to keep people out.
Dude, it has.
And we can't be a big tent if our actions are incongruent
Exactly.
with what we say we believe.
what we need to do is we need to keep the NIMBYs out of the tent. I mean,
100%.
I
Yep.
think in oh yeah, and we have don't get me wrong, we have so many fucking master plan subdivisions. But that's the thing that I think is so great about this city in particular. You can live in a densely packed area. You can live in the Heights. You can live in Montrose. If you don't want to live in Montrose, go over to Katy. You'll go to Ellison, the specific fucking insanely beautiful fucking every mega mansion house there. They have a fucking lazy river, dude. Some of these fucking subdivisions have water parks. No bullshit.
Shout
It's
out Sugarland.
shout out fucking Sugarland, man. But it's crazy, and I don't. I am not a conservative. Obviously, I'm on this show. For a while, I was a Democratic operative. But like, dude, it's fucking insane how awesome some of this shit they have here in Texas is. As a Texan.
Exactly, dude. It's awesome. It's
Speaking of
genuinely
Texas,
awesome.
though.
I'm just like taking notes right now, dude, listening to everything
I have
and just like ready to ready to
Conrad,
start developing shit.
look up Houston Heights, man. You guys will fucking love it, man. Like
um
genuinely, look up the Heights in Houston. But
one
speaking of
random question
Texas,
for you.
yeah.
Oh wait, no, say that first. What's up?
No, I was just gonna say you want to move on to the
Oh,
topic I
so
wanted to.
yes, I was just gonna ask. This is such a random ass question. What neighborhood is the Galleria in?
Galleria. That's my
Yeah.
neighborhood. It's just
Nice.
called Galleria. Why?
That's where my dad always stays, like near there when he goes to
I
Houston.
tell him. I'm staying less than a mile away from him.
Based.
Yeah, I'm
You know
literally
what?
right there.
I should finagle myself on the next Houston.
If you listen, I'm less than a mile away. If you go to the Galleria, don't fucking go in that parking lot. They will shoot you. No bullshit. That parking lot. So, Conrad, the Galleria is the biggest mall in the state of Texas. The biggest mall in the state of Texas. Beautiful, luxury, legit Louis Vuitton, Ralph Lauren. There's a Capital One cafe. That's not bougie, but I love the Capital One cafes. But the parking lot is dangerous. Someone got shot there. Someone gets shot there like once a week.
Shit.
Dangerous. But because there's these kids, they'll just follow people who go shopping, these rich people. They'll follow them to the garage and then they'll just rob them. Not
Damn.
safe.
Damn. Unfortunate.
Yeah. But yeah, let's move on to what Oliver asked to talk about, which is the Senate race heating up in Texas, especially with the Democratic primary. It will be very financially beneficial to me if my boy Beto wins.
Dude, me too. Just wants the primary, man.
Hold up, really quick, before you do this. I was going to do this later. Conrad, me and Oliver have a problem right now. We started using Kalshi. It is maybe the greatest thing ever invented. You can gamble on literally anything that you want to.
It's beautiful. I love it.
I got.
If you want good odds right now, Beto O'Rourke is extremely undervalued on Kalshi. I bought him at something like 8 cents a share. He should be the favorite to win that Senate primary. Way over Allred. I think if Allred runs, he's getting his ass handed to him because people don't like him. But
So, I currently have bets placed for when the bill passes in the Senate. AOC winning the nomination and the election in 4 years. Beto. Clemson winning the Natty. There being a recession this year. It is the greatest thing ever, dude.
I have Texas A&M winning. That one won't happen, but I want to believe.
Oh, I also got Daniel Jones winning Comeback Player of the Year.
Okay, that's a little ridiculous.
Well,
That's
yes,
ridiculous.
but that would be funny.
But what were we saying?
Oh,
Dude,
back to
what's
Texas. Oh, sorry. What's up, Conrad?
what's like the minimum bet on this? I'm ready to
Minimum $10.
$10.
Oh,
Dude, I
no,
put
like,
$10.
Are there like parlays on here?
no, you can't
No,
do
it's so-
parlays. I wish.
I wish.
But what you can do, the minimum bet for like each thing is like $1. I guess you just gotta put in 10 to start. But dude, yesterday during the NBA draft, I had that shit open. I was just looking for good money the entire time, like
Did you make
Shams
any
and
money?
I think I probably profited like $1 on the night because I won $10 with Callum Muliach going to the Suns. I completely butchered that name. That was not great. I think it's Maluak. Okay, but with him going to the Suns at 10, made $10. But
Nice.
you know, we took it on. We took a couple of shots. I think the Sixers, while they got a great guy, Trey Johnson, he should have been your guy at 3.
No, I'm fully sold on BJ Edgecombe.
Did the interview
100%.
do it for you?
100% it was the interview. My man had a single mom. His single mom took care of him. They had a generator powering their house for 7 years. He's coming from the trenches of the Bahamas. He is winning Rookie of the Year. He is a fiend. He's going to be amazing in the NBA. We haven't seen poverty like this since Giannis.
I would just like to say one thing. Oliver, for the most part, even with the Eagles, and like every Eagles fan is prone to hyperbole. Oliver, with the most part, is a very grounded in reality sports fan.
I
Him
think
talk,
I'm rational.
him talking about the Sixers in the last 48 hours has been the most irrational sports takes that have come out of his mouth.
I think we can win the East.
No, you can't.
I think we could win the East.
No, absolutely not.
Yes, if Embiid
Bro,
is healthy. If Embiid is healthy, yes.
Here, if the Sixers win the East, then that cowboy is going to win the Democratic primary.
Well, let's move on to our next.
That was a beautiful segue.
That was a
A.
really good segue.
B, I'm right, and you know I'm right. That's why you didn't say anything.
He's not going to win the primary. Okay.
The Sixers aren't winning the East.
Shut up. So who we're talking about is Bobby Cole. This is just random cowboy.
That's maybe the best name of all time.
It's a pretty fucking sick name. I'll give him that. He's just so basically Conrad. He's this random cowboy from East Texas. Well, that's all we know about him. He's a Democrat running for governor of Texas. No governing experience. No nothing. We know he is from East Texas. We also know he's from the town he's in. There are two Bobby Coles. One of them owns a ranch that's worth $5 million. The other one owns a ranch that's worth $2.6 million. And why this is pissing me off is all of these influencers on TikTok are like, this is the guy that's going to flip Texas. It's like they have the same script they keep going over and over and over again. It's like, oh, Texans are so sick of Greg Abbott. We need someone who can flip the state, who can get him out of office. And Bobby Cole is a real Texan. He grew up a rancher. He's a cowboy. He's a volunteer firefighter. There's a book called Mr. Texas. I shit you not. The character is a fucking rancher and volunteer firefighter. And he gets a fucking career in politics because he saves a little girl and her horse from a fucking burning barn. Bobby Cole stole his fucking life from this book. I'm telling you right now, by the way. But why this is pissing me off is people who are not from the state of Texas love talking about how they know Texas, how a cowboy's gonna win the state. No, he doesn't stand a chance in fucking hell. He is a moderate Texan from East Texas. Who the fuck wants that? I don't know why this pisses me off, but anywho, that's the one that really pissed me off. But the one that's going to be very interesting is the Senate race. For the first time ever, there's an actual competitive Senate race in Texas, right? So what Democrats are noticing is that our Lieutenant Governor, Ken Paxton, is currently, kicking John Cornyn's ass. He's going to probably successfully primary Cornyn out. Well, a lot of Democrats are noticing that, and they're like, well, fuck, this is my time to run. I need to fucking, I can win this seat. So people like Beto O'Rourke, Colin Allred, two former Senate candidates who both lost. What's his name? Former HUD secretary under Obama, Julian Castro. He's another person who's interested in running. This young rising star in the Texas Democratic Party, James Tallarico. I want him to run for governor. But what they're doing is they are very interested in actually running for this seat because they're like, hey, I can win this. Because they can win this. Texas, as of the whole country as a whole, is sick of Donald Trump and sick of this bullshit. They are specifically sick of Greg Abbott right now. If you know anything about Texas, you know about the shit show about SB 3. That's the fucking Senate Bill 3 with the THC ban. Have you heard about that, Conrad?
Is that all like the hemp products?
Yes. So
okay.
Our Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is trying to ban all hemp products in the state of Texas because his friend in the liquor lobby are like, hey, young people aren't drinking enough. Well, young people are fucking pissed off about that. People in the state of Texas are pissed off about that. So I think, and I'm very hopeful, and I think this is a Democratic mid-year year for 2026 is going to be very good for us, but I've been yammering. I think there is some hope happening right now in Texas, which is a very interesting thing. Bill's about to jump up. Yep, there he goes. He's gonna fucking knock over my TV.
And I think it makes sense. We had polling numbers come out. Trump negative on the economy, which will get you some middle class people back. I want to see Bill content. What up?
Oh man, that's a beautiful cat.
He's a huge fucking. He's a barn cat. Former barn cat.
Former barn cat,
Former barn cat.
reform barn cat.
The
Reformed barn
Bobby
cat.
Cole of cats.
He is the Bobby Cole of cats.
Um, but yeah, I think there's a lot of energy everywhere around the country right now. Obviously, people are pissed off. This is not going as. I don't think this is going as. No one expected it to go like this. We didn't expect it to be this much of a shit show this quickly and this beneficial for us. Um, I don't think. I don't think Donald Trump thought that it would be this bad. I think he had
Dude,
these grand expectations of his second term. I actually am starting to feel a little bit bad for him because of how badly it's going.
I am not.
Not really,
no,
but like, no,
dude,
I
I'm
couldn't
not
care
gonna
less.
lie.
This
There,
is
there,
awesome.
there, there was no way this was gonna go well. Like,
No,
this is exactly what I imagine, and I think what you have to understand too is there is a really long time component to this. Like the New York Times just released an article on all the NIH studies they have cut.
yep.
And like science and research studies, number one, you just can't cut the funding in the middle of a study and have the results be like valid, right? Number two, like the research, it builds on top of each other. Knowledge builds on itself. So even though it may seem useless right now, it may be the information may inspire a study that can, I don't know, help out later. But it's just absolutely nuts that they're cutting things like a study for glioblastoma, which is an aggressive brain cancer. And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck?
It's wild.
Well, why don't we want to find some sort of, I don't know, treatment, cure, prolonging quality of life, something? Like, and that's not something that's not something anybody's going to see. It's not something anybody's going to experience, but 10, 20, 30 years down the road, it's going to be someone who doesn't have a treatment option available.
Mm-hmm.
It's going like those are the impacts no one sees and no one notices, but that's the shit I'm pissed off about right
No,
now.
as you
It's
should be.
negatively impacting people's life.
I
Like
think.
quality of life. And it's ironic too because this is still the same tent Maha, right?
Yeah. Um. Honestly, I for things like that, I think we'll be able to get back that research. We are still going to the things that make America America and the things that make this the greatest fucking country on the planet. Um, are going to be even better by the time you get done with this. They are going to be reinforced. They are going to have more people than ever before. This is what I be telling everybody that I see on college campuses that isn't like the healthcare, like engineering fields. I'm like, by the time you graduate, you are going to be in a phenomenal spot.
Yep.
Um,
It's the truth.
Dude,
and
like
I
oh,
think we have
sorry.
people. Oh, I'm sorry, but like, I'm just saying, like, we're gonna have people who are like, 15, 16, 17 right now. They're seeing what's happening. Their life mission is going to be to fix that. And they're going to be dedicated as fuck and they're going to be great at it.
Dude, I think a message for 2026 and 2028, we should really lean into the pioneer spirit of America and tie it to calculated risk taking.
Yep.
Calculated risk taking. Put a whole bunch of put marginal bets across a large amount of people. Dude, bet on people and they will deliver. Like there's just way too much concentration of wealth. There's way too much concentration of opportunity. Again, I say this ad nauseum. We have an incumbency problem. Yo, we lower those barriers of entry. We get more people involved, whether it be in science, whether it be within the community. The results will come. The results will come.
100%. Um,
100%.
and I think this is like a good segue to something else that I wanted to talk about regarding Zoran, is what it means for the future of the party, and how we're gonna run campaigns from now on, how we're gonna get new people, like we talked about, younger, more progressive candidates with actual ideas of how to fix things rather than just buzzwords. And I think most importantly, Oliver said this before the election. I think the biggest winner outside of Zohran Mamdani in the city of New York is AOC.
Yep.
I think this clears the pathway for an AOC run and a successful AOC run at that, because I think that's what the party wants. That's what the people of America want. And, once again, we talked about Kalshi like 5 minutes ago. Phenomenal odds on Kalshi right now for AOC to be our
Where's
next
she
president.
standing?
I bought like $5 more. I own 101 shares of her being the next president now.
Hell yeah. How much at a cent?
So currently, let's see. Yes. So winning the next presidential election winner, she's currently at 8%. So I've spent $8.30. If she wins the next presidential election, $101.
Damn, nice.
But I think we talked about it with Beto. He's aligning himself with Bernie and the left of the party, and I think post Barack Obama's win in 2008, Republicans got really mad. The Republicans like John McCain, who were trying to get along, maintain the status quo, and use their better angels or whatnot, and kumbaya, everybody worked together. Shout out West Wing. Those people got kicked the fuck out.
They did. As they
And we had new people come in, people like fucking Scott Walker, Lindsey Graham, Mike Lee.
Michelle Bachmann.
Yep, these people come in and they changed the party, and they were a preamble for Donald Trump. And I think Sarah Palin. And I think we kind of had a little bit of a preamble in 2018 with the Squad and some of these other people. Bernie being as successful as he is, Zohran now. I think the main event is about to happen. And I think it is going to be phenomenal. It is going to be better than the main event at last year's WrestleMania.
Dude, if we can get our shit together and if we can come up with a great platform, dude.
And I think
we're in a good position.
I don't trust the Democratic establishment to get their shit together, and I think what Zohran winning shows is that the people are going to get their shit together for them. And that's exactly what happened with the Republicans.
They're gonna do it kicking and screaming. That's the thing.
They're going to succeed in spite of the party, and like if the party doesn't come along, the party might not survive.
Like, genuinely, I think the biggest thing that made me so happy, the ads and shit that Andrew Cuomo and his friends did to Zohran were somehow more racist than what Donald Trump did to Kamala last year.
Really?
Dude, they were darkening his image. Every single attack ad had him wearing like traditional like Indian clothing. Every single one. They did not show him like wearing a suit or anything like that. Every single attack ad was photos of him in like Indian clothing.
That's not good at all.
No, and like if that had won, that would have been really bad things for our party.
Dude,
it got its ass kicked.
Dude, I was gonna say like that was going to be the issue. If Cuomo would have won, I would have been like, oh, fuck.
If he would have won, I genuinely would have contemplated voting. I think if Cuomo would have won, we would have seen a third party emerge.
Yes,
I think Zohran runs. I think he would have run as a third party.
Oh no, he for sure, because New York politics is just weird. I think we see like a national uprising for like,
dude,
the third party if the Democrats
I'd be done. I'd be done. Not to be hyperbolic, but I'd be done. That's gross.
Same.
Like sexual assaulting 13 people, killing a whole bunch of old people, mismanaging COVID, the funds with the Metro. Absolutely not, dude. That's DT light.
Yeah, exactly. It's Donald Trump without the charisma.
Yep, absolutely.
But no, I'm just sorry about that. I'm so excited to see what happens after this. I'm excited to see, the candidates that we get in the primaries leading up to the midterms next year. I think, what's his name? Chuck Schumer. You had a great career as a Democratic Party politician. You've been a good politician for most of your career. You're done, buddy. Mm-hmm. Enjoy retirement.
Dude,
you should start planning your retirement party right now. Otherwise, we're going to plan it for you.
Think about it this way. How many NFL players stay a season too long? And you're just like, buddy.
So many.
Buddy, just retire. Go out. go out. How few people go out on top at their prime? Like, what is it? Ray Lewis, I think, did. He
Yep.
retired after a Super Bowl. Peyton Manning
Peyton
did.
Manning.
Yep.
You know, that's a luxury. That's the exception to the rule, right? Like, go out on your own terms before you get, I don't want to say humiliated, because I think sports are a little bit different than politics. You have nothing to hang your head about, losing to Father Time. But yeah, these old people, these old heads, they need to go. They need to
Yeah.
go.
And they have been very good politicians for most of their career. It's just like your time is up. You can no most of it. You can no longer, do the same
Nancy
old
Pelosi.
thing. Nancy Pelosi, no. Yeah,
Really? No.
no. Same with Akeem Jeffries. I was more so just talking about Chuck. Um,
Hakeem Jeffries could get primaried, by the way.
I think he will.
I mean, I think there's a realistic shot.
I think
I wouldn't be
all of
shocked to
these,
see him get
all
primaried.
of the people that are under the umbrella of do nothing Democrats, the right already makes fun of you, but the Democrats are starting to sour on you too.
The thing is too, the I feel like the attacks have been neutered. Everybody's a socialist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody's a commie.
and
Everybody's like
you
this
were
woke liberal, and it's just like, nah, man. All right, whatever. Red Scare again. Come up with something new.
right. I think saying Comrade Kamala and calling Kamala Harris a communist, given that she is from the third largest economy in the country,
Hmm.
or in the world, um, that doesn't make sense now, and it ruins the impact of it. Like you said, Zoran is an actual socialist, but like they can't call him that anymore because they've overused the fuck out of that word.
Dude, exactly.
Um, and I think it's going to be really interesting for some of these campaigns. Someone like Kat Abugzeli, who's running in North Chicago, we've talked about her because she's done some unique things such as using fundraising money for food banks and things like that. But she's trying to primary someone that is a much older, established Democrat. Um, I think she's going to have a very, very good shot. And I think we're going to see more and more people like that pop up across the country. Um, Zoran Mamdani is 33. And I did, in fact, there was a lot of tweets going around like, oh, this is every brown kid's worst nightmare because their parents are going to hit him with, look at his
Why aren't you
resume.
here? Speaking of the devil. Speaking of the devil. She's
Grandma.
asking you why aren't you mayor, huh?
Grandma. No, she was asking me why her phone was not working. But,
That's why you weren't mayor.
well, that did, maybe. But, like, bro, the next day, my dad goes, have you seen this guy's resume? I was like, bro,
No.
we're working on it. Trust. But I think you just need, I kind of lost train of my thought. But yeah, shout out Zoran and shout out young people running.
Dude, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be the ticket. And I think, bro, like the only thing you should be thinking about policy, and then fuck it, we ball. That's it.
It's
Hmm.
literally,
Just
it's
What
the
you have to
economy.
lose?
Just the economy. Just focus
it's
on the economy.
Hmm.
Everything else is
get
second thought.
get running a campaign and winning an election. I think is about two things, three things actually, if you count getting money. But outside of like raising money, it's getting people to like you and trust you, and then having the policy ideas to back up the personality.
Hmm.
And I think Zoran is case in point as to why that works and why that is exceedingly popular. Because Donald Trump, kind of the same thing. Great personality, somehow gets people to trust him, and claims to have really great ideas.
He's an outsider,
Exactly.
Hmm.
He is a change candidate.
and that's what we need more of, man. Amen. I'm. I would love to see some just like entrenched, like Democrats go down. I mean, I'm trying to think of some like in the House. I would love to see a fucking a Nadler go down. He'll never go down, but like, dude, Jamal Bowman can get back in the squad. I would love to see Cory Bush back. I mean, people who actually fight for their districts
I
and
mean,
aren't just like fucking shills for APAC or something.
I love Frank
By the way,
Pallone.
something we never mentioned. APAC's biggest loss in a while. In a
Mm.
long time, this is their biggest loss.
I mean, what about I guess it wasn't super big in Jersey with Gaheimer. I don't think they ended up
They
giving
didn't
him that much
spend.
money. No, but dude, fucking wonderful.
Dude, insane.
Because also, if you get now every single young candidate that we get is like not taking any corporate donations. So even if Congress won't man up and ban lobbying and ban donations in the millions of dollars by organizations like APAC, it's just gonna happen naturally.
Yep.
And at some
I,
point on both sides, you're gonna have enough people where you have the votes to just ban lobbying.
dude, you give the people what they want without them asking to let them know they can demand it.
Dude, exactly. And
Exactly.
I think what we need to do is I think yeah, maybe not like federally they won't ban dark money, but like in Democratic primaries we can do that very easily.
Oh, for sure.
Very easily. I mean, they won't, but we just need the leadership. By the way, Hakeem Jeffries is another person who we can 100% primary out.
Oh, 100%. Cause like ineffective leadership. Because especially next year would be the time to get better leaders in Congress. No matter if we win both houses, win the House, lose the Senate, whatever it may be. Because quite honestly, the Republicans do not have their shit together right now, and if we have strong leadership, we can bully the hell out of them.
Dude, in my mind, we're picking up a minimum of 2 Senate seats. We're keeping Georgia. I think Maine is already a foregone conclusion. I think people who are like, oh, we're not going to win Maine don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Exactly, and I genuinely have not felt about this confident about winning the state of Texas in my lifetime.
I'm not that confident, but I have.
I mean, bro, I've never been that confident before.
That's fair. That's fair.
Outside of, remember when she
2018.
went? Yeah, 2018 was very cool. I think the last thing here is like the one other thing that Dem should do is like he did outreach to almost every single community in the city of New York.
He didn't take a single community for granted.
No, we take communities for granted. We did that in every single big city last year
Yep.
in the swing states,
Cough, cough.
especially the city of
Yes.
Philadelphia. Especially the city of Philadelphia.
Especially the city of Philadelphia.
The city of Philadelphia could have probably won us the state of Pennsylvania last year if we tried hard enough.
Oh, dude, 100%. Do you know if we win Philly, we win? If Philly turns out at like an extremely high level, I'm sorry by the way.
You're good.
If Philly turns out at an extremely high level, it doesn't matter. We don't need Pittsburgh to turn out. We don't need anyone else to turn out.
Yeah. And that's what Joe Biden was able to do in 2020.
And that they didn't even turn out by like a crazy amount in 2020.
No, but like I'm telling you, dude, I voted a month before the election,
Dude, same.
and guess what? It took me 3.5 hours,
Wild. That's wild.
like start to finish. I was in line for a hot minute.
Hot second. Crazy.
It was a nice fall. It was a nice crisp fall day, so it was fine. But goddamn,
Took you a while.
took me a while. Now it was the same day that LeBron reposted my polling location on his Instagram story.
Dude, that's crazy. Shout
that
out
was-
LeBron.
That was beautiful. Shout out the King. You know what? These No Kings protests, we got to rebrand them to One King. Put LeBron's face on the flags.
The One King protest.
The One King protests. LeBron. 'Cause that'll also piss off the conservatives because they hate him. Double whammy. But yeah,
I'm
Shout
very
out Zohran.
tired right now. I don't know why. I'm just feeling.
you're good.
Dude, it's been a week. It's been a week.
It has.
I mean, yeah, dude. I think,
Do you want to
This
move on
is
to the
the-
next section?
yeah, but this was cool as fuck. Like, just
Dude,
genuinely. So
It's exciting. It's exciting, man. It's been wild because we get little spurts of hope, and then like doomerism, and then we get more spurts of hope, and they seem to be getting like they're escalating more and more. That's really cool. Really, really cool. Wow. Do you guys want to move to the cartoons?
let's look at the ads. I'm gonna
Not
stop.
cartoons. God.
No, you're good. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna stop recording here and then upload the ads segment as like a separate thing. So thank you guys for watching another episode of the
Well,
Arena.
hold on. We're not done yet.
I
What are you guys doing this weekend?
my sister got 3 pieces of IKEA furniture. We built one of them today. I guess we're gonna lock in and build the bed and the other set of drawers in the next couple of days. I would like to say I don't admit that I'm bad at almost anything. Okay, um, I suck at building IKEA furniture. That and Legos goes like hand in hand. I don't have the patience or like the wherewithal to like do anything. So like my sister just like bosses me around and just throwing screws at me, and like I was just doing that whenever she needed it, lifting things. So just some more of that, watching sports, and finding more fun things on Kalshi.
Watching the Phillies get their butts kicked by the Astros this week.
Shut up! You
Um,
cheated again. I'll prove it.
Okay, bud. This weekend, my brother is coming into town. We just found out today. Shout out Dylan, my man.
Nice.
Nothing much. Just gonna try to grind out this week and make money, right?
As
There
you
we go.
should.
There we go. I think I don't know, man. I don't have very many plans this weekend, which will be nice. Which will be nice. I think we got to weed the garden, dude. I just that middle class lifestyle, dude. Just those chores,
How's that deck coming along?
dude. It's stained. It's all right.
Is it
I
beautiful?
I do have to add another coat.
Listen, could always use another sanding.
Dude, Oliver, don't you fucking put that evil on me, dude. Don't you ever put that evil on me again. I want to be like Billy. I want to be like Billy Madison when he's talking to the kid where he's like, I want to grow up. I don't want to go to school. And Billy Madison's like, stay here forever. But I just want to be like, don't fucking sand your
Listen,
deck with a
next time-
tiny ass orbital sander.
Next time me and Noah come up to Erie, we will sand your deck for you. We'll get two done, okay? I guarantee you.
Oh, dude, it was a lot. I think next time I'll just rent a machine.
Probably a good idea.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching another episode of The Arena. Peace. Oliver's sleepy.